Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and welcome to a new vlog. It is Friday after work. I just finished filming this video and it is 6 p.m. I have a lot to do, so that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be a reading but also productive weekend vlog. Last week I daily vlogged for 8.5 days and it was so much fun. I love daily vlogging, but coming back after, I get a hangover every single time, and I knew it was gonna happen, but still, this past work week, getting only like 3 or 4 hours to commit to booktube after spending like 16 hours a day on it every single day for a week, it's just so sad. So I'm hoping a few things by the end of the week. I want to complete my to-do list, but I also want to set myself up for a nice week next week, because I just started liking my job again, and I really would not like to have a little petulant Allie sitting 8 hours a day going, I wish I could be reading right now. No. So let's talk about the to-do list. First of all, I have 2 books that I want to finish, and the books in question are Hungerstone and An Education in Malice. These are both Carmilla, retellings, and I wasn't sure which one to start first. They seem like very different vibes. They're set in very different times. This one's also more like new adult. This one is adult. This one is more academic. This one is more horror, but they're both lesbian and vampiric. So let's go. I've also decided to keep me in a high energy atmosphere. I'm going to bounce chapter by chapter. I discovered in this video that I love to do this. And I also discovered that I like bouncing between time periods. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun this weekend reading these books. Well, I am. Hopefully you enjoy. Other things on the to-do list. First of all, we can cross one out. I just filmed my new release video. Oh my gosh, starting this vlog with something already crossed out, that's the way to do it. Tonight, I wanna finish editing it so I can get it early access on my Patreon. And I don't have to force myself to sleep at a reasonable hour tonight. Yes! I really do need to clean this house. I don't even want to show you the state it's in. I haven't cleaned it since Summerween. The sink, I'm scared. We don't have a dishwasher, so when things pile up, it gets a little frightening. I also want to use this as a mid-year reset, and I think I want to change how I organize my bookshelves. So I'm going to take every single book off the shelf and reorganize it. This always seems like a really fun idea. Right now, Allie's thinking, oh, this is going to be fun. Just wait till all the books are on the floor. I'm going to have a little panic attack, but it's going to get done. I also have to film a bookshelf tour for my patrons. They requested it. I feel like it's going to take a long time, but hey, Mama delivers. I'm sorry, I just call myself that. And I know I'm forgetting something, so editing Allie, just plop on these other things, okay? So yes, we have a very busy weekend, which I am excited for because I felt like a zombie the past 5 days. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Alright, I just finished the rough edit. It is 10:10. Make a wish.
I'm gonna have some milk and seaweed.
He's literally eating milk and seaweed. Ew. So now it's dinner time. I'm gonna do my final run through. I am so happy. I can stay up as late as I want today.
Got all these moments and feelings I can't describe. I'm going crazy, replaying them in my mind. Misunderstandings and damages to my pride knock me off my balance. I'm falling from cloud 9, but this ain't feeling right. We don't have to fight, you know. We could let it go. Yeah, we could let the bygones just be bygones. We don't have to dwell in it, just put a smile on. If you wanna know how much I love you, it's enough to leave.
Okay, I got my video up this morning from a patron, so let's cross this off. And I am making progress in my books. It's funny because this one feels shorter, but I guess the chapters are longer, so I'm like already a quarter of the way through here, but definitely not a quarter of the way through An Education in Malice. But let's talk about Carmilla, the character. I love Carmilla in here. She was a brat, she was very tricky, but she really liked Laura. I don't really know what to make of her in either of these. First of all, the situation is way different than I thought it was going to be in here, but I'd never read the back. I had just heard about like academic and and Carmilla. But Carmilla even has a point of view in this book, which is pretty cool. I was not expecting that. It's funny though, because I always see Carmilla as a bad bitch, and she's definitely a brat. I think it literally says that in here. I was at my core a brat. This Carmilla though, my god, she is a little rude. And if the main character weren't such a pushover, she would have gotten smacked, I'm pretty sure. This Carmilla, I keep thinking like, girl, sit down. But this one, I'm like, girl, stand up. So let's talk about this one first. Our main character in here is Laura, which is the narrator's name in the actual Carmilla book. Laura is very reserved, a lot more quiet than her classmates, but she seems very smart and very excited to be there and studying poetry. And it's in these intensive creative writing classes that she really gets to see Carmilla the most, because she's also in that class. Carmilla's a senior and our girl Laura is the only freshman in the class. Wow. The teacher, Delafontaine, she's a very charismatic lady, and she's got all these girlies spinning circles around her. They all want to prove themselves to her. They all want to impress her. She's very strict, but she's very fair. She's like that girl. And it's funny because she's more like Carmilla than the actual Carmilla in here. Laura sees Carmilla on her first night. She goes to like a bonfire. All the seniors are dressed up in weird robes. It looks like a cult, or it sounds like a cult. I didn't see it, but I saw it in my mind. Carmilla goes up to her as one of the new freshmen, and she like crowns her with some sort of flower crown. Instantly, Laura is folded. Carmilla makes quick work. She glances at her face once, and Laura says she's imagining overpowering her and kissing and bruising her, slotting her fingers into all that black hair and tugging until her mouth was hovering over mine. She's like down bad after one glance. Wow. The next day they get to class. Carmilla is not happy with her because the teacher seems to be giving Laura a little bit more attention than Carmilla would like. Carmilla is the star of the show and she wants to keep it that way. So they start their rivalry, and oh my gosh, the way Laura's talking about it, it's giving like the torture poets department. Every single poem that Laura writes is about Carmilla, which damn, she is brave for that, because I'm sure she can read between the lines. I worked myself into a fever over her, hunched over my typewriter in my dorm room. Who uses typewriters anyway? If I couldn't have the real Carmilla, I would settle for an illusion of my own design. There is this one scene where Carmilla catches Laura reading like porn in the library. It's like literature technically, but yeah, it was pretty exciting. And there was like some lesbian shit in there, and they both were like, But as of right now, they're still rivals. The teacher though has a weird connection with Carmilla, and I don't want to say what it is because it's not on the back of the book, but we find out, I think in chapter 2. It was quite shocking. I was not expecting it. All right, moving on to Hungerstone. I love this writing so much. Right now, this one is winning in terms of writing, but this one is winning in terms of giggling. I'm underlining things left and right in here. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of Jane Eyre, not the writing, but the atmosphere, very spooky, but also lonely. Our main character also grew up an orphan in her shitty aunt's house, so it's kind of giving Jane Eyre's upbringing. Our main character in here is not named Laura, she's named Lenore. And Lenore needs to stand the fuck up. I feel really bad for her because she's had so much loss and loneliness throughout her life, and her husband is a piece of shit, and I cannot wait till someone eats him or kills him. I really hope she does it. I want her to stab him in the neck. He's just so rude and neglectful, but like, oh god, I don't even think he wanted a wife. He just wanted an assistant. They've been married for 10 years now. He's put her in charge of getting this huge ass house together for his party, and the work is crazy, it's expensive, and it's like all on her. I feel so bad for her. She's so stressed out. She's also got a lot of issues with her stomach. I think there was talk in the first chapter of like periods a lot, and I don't know if she's like waiting to see if she can get pregnant, but it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know if they're trying to hint that she's pregnant or it's the fact that she's just in pain. Something's clearly very wrong with her, but she's just too damn stubborn to get help. And when I tell you, Lenore is too proud for her own good, it's getting frustrating already. Like, I get that she feels like she can only count on herself, but it gets to a point where it's like, I don't want to keep reading the same thing over and over and over again, but I will continue to do so because I'm really loving the writing. This Carmilla though, she is like bold. They take her in. The author seems to really be sticking to this plot line. So Carmilla comes after a carriage accident. Plus, my favorite part about this book is that our main character saw Carmilla in a dream, and then when she actually meets her in real life, it's the creepiest moment because our character recognizes her from that nightmare, and that happens in here as well, except it's even more unsettling because our main character had this nightmare as an adult, and it very clearly like wasn't a nightmare. I love that part in the original, so I was so happy to see it in here. Can you imagine you have this nightmare of this woman coming up to you and like biting you while you're like paralyzed, and then a couple days later you see her in the flesh? scary, scary stuff. So they've taken Carmilla in and she's acting like a fucking princess. She's wearing Lenore's gowns. She's talking back to Lenore. She's begging Lenore to share like her intimate details of her life with her. And then when Lenore says something boring, Carmilla literally says, okay, this is dull. Please go away. It's like, bitch, you're in her house. And the crazy thing is Lenore just does what she says. It's insane. So these two Carmillas seem to be very different. Carmilla's a dom, Carmilla's a sub. Lenore is a sub, Lenore is a dom. Oh my god, I can't wait. So I think this is gonna be more romantic because I'm getting invested and I want them to be together. These two, like obviously I want them to be together, but also like I don't trust Carmilla. And I don't know that either one of them would make each other happy. It's giving creepy but hot, which is a vibe. So I'm digging it. Have I babbled enough? I'm very tired for some reason. It is 2:40. I need to start cleaning my house and I really don't want to. I think I'll wait till nightfall. Update, I just fell asleep. Well, I fell asleep, I just woke up. I hate taking naps. I wake up with this like weird sense of doom. I feel physically ill, so trying to get over that, but it's getting late. I feel like I'm just waking up, which is good. The vampire, you know, I'm a nocturnal vampire. Anyway, I was able to get my hands on both of the audiobooks through my library. Read a chapter of Hungerstone, it's very good. And then I just turned on the one from An Education in Malice. I don't know if I can do this. Listen, our main character Laura is from Mississippi, but like listen to this accent.
I swallowed hard, stealing my nerves. I wasn't great at first, or second, or third.
It's actually not so bad, but it's weirdly reminding me of the Ice Planet Barbarian audiobooks, and it's just like, I don't know if I can do it. It's actually not so bad. Okay, I'll stop being rude, I'm sorry. It's just so different from like the voice I had inside of my head, so I don't know. I'll give it a shot. At least it was free. Alright, I'm just about to go to bed, but I do want to give you an update. I've gotten to page 178 of Hungerstone and 111 of An Education in Malice, and I'm very much enjoying this more, which is kind of surprising to me, but also not, because this was kind of a 5-star prediction at one point. This one is not bugging me so bad that I want to put it down, like I'm still very interested in continuing it. It just feels like this author wrote a bunch of different scenes, or they wrote chapters without thinking of how they connected to the others. There'll be a scene where Carmilla and Laura are bonding, or they laugh, or they flirt, and then the next chapter starts off with, God, I really hate her, or let's have you two girls get to know each other after they've known each other for like months now. It just doesn't make any sense. Also, Laura, she met a couple girls on her first night there. It's like her senior sister who's supposed to like help her out. She seemed really nice, but we never really saw her again. And then all of a sudden she's hanging out with them, talking like they see each other every day, but we haven't seen them interact. There's been a couple offhand remarks, but it's just, I don't know. I hate it when things happen off page and we're just supposed to believe it. I need to like be walked through it. I'm just never gonna take anything at your word. I need to actually be in the midst of it. So yeah, not loving the actual construction of this. I feel like all the ideas are there, all the characters are there, but they're not being like deeply explored. It's like the author had all these ideas and has to get to all of them, but can only dive deep enough. So it all feels a little bit flat. So I'm kind of sad about that. And also, man, Carmilla needs to stand the fuck up. Like, this is not Carmilla. No. This bitch, okay. I'm still loving the writing. The audiobook is wonderful. This one's just so funny because the narrator is going in and out of the accent. And so it sounds just like her normal voice, and then she'll just be like, I'm walking down the sidewalk. Like, excuse me? But I think I also like that this setting and this atmosphere has been so solidified that I can picture every single walk down every single hallway in this house. It's very much gothic and I love it. There was just a reveal and I did guess it, so it wasn't that surprising. But even then, I'm really enjoying this book. It's reminding me a lot more of the original Carmilla, so I'm getting that satisfaction of like comparing and contrasting more than this book. I'm getting a little confused. Also, my hair looks so fucking goofy. I actually started this vlog on Monday. I was gonna do like a week-long avoid a book hangover with me, and then the hangover hit me. So I spoke a lot about this in that iteration of the vlog, but then it ended up up in the toilet. So I never really got to tell you the Laura and Carmilla story that LaFanu wrote. Laura was always a little bit hesitant. She was still drawn to Carmilla, but she was also like, whoa, what are you doing? And you can't really tell if it's like gay panic or she's actually uncomfortable. Maybe a bit of both. But Carmen Maria Machado said the absolute coolest thing. She said she chose to keep LaFanu's original edition and not like change any of it because she wanted this edition to bear his shame. And so I am just loving all the subtextual sexual shit. Nothing's been like outwardly lesbianic just yet, but there have been thoughts inside of these girlies' heads. And it's just so nice to see. All right, I need to go take a cold shower, sit in front of my fan, and go to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow for, oh my gosh, the book organization. I'm actually terrified. Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, it's 11:11. Things are starting to look up. This morning, rough start. I got my period an entire week early. What the fuck is that about? But actually it makes a lot of sense now why I was so tired and crabby yesterday. Usually once my period starts, I don't know why I have to whisper that, but like, I don't want to scare some of you, I start to feel much more like myself. So hopefully that starts kicking in soon. But also an entire week early. It's been so regular the past 6 months. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, today is the day and I need to get started because I think this is going to take a while. I actually put it up to my patrons to vote for how I'm gonna reorganize my bookshelves. I gave them a few options, and even though I haven't checked since a day after I put the poll up about a week ago, I'm pretty sure I know what they selected, and it's gonna be like, why did I even put this as an option? Because it's so intriguing. That's why. So let's just verify. All right, I'm clicking on it right now, and yes, I had 52 votes and 56% of them said to organize by intrigue level, meaning how interested I am in actually reading the book in this present moment. That's gonna take a lot of thinking and not just like making piles, but maybe because I would like to get this done in a timely manner, it'll force me to make some mean decisions. The only thing about this is my intrigue levels change week to week, month to month, sometimes day by day. So I might have to reassess this in a month or two. But I know there are some books on there that I am just like avoiding like the plague. Maybe I'll have to do an entire vlog trying to read like my least intriguing books to see if I should just unhaul them. The thing is, I have books everywhere in my house. So I have this little shelf, this big shelf. I got this new zigzaggy shelf. I've got my TBR cart. I've got a shelf in the office, which is actually Grant's shelf, and I've commandeered it. And I have shelves in my desk in the office that house mostly books that I've already read. So I'm not sure like what direction to go in. I think I'll put my least interesting books over here, but you know what? I'm just chit-chatting because I don't want to do this yet. So let's put on my audiobooks. I'm gonna continue to jump back and forth. It was really funny trying to do this last night while I was cleaning. Having to like stop what I was doing and like bounce between audiobooks. It was actually fun. I thought it would be annoying. It was kind of fun. The only thing is, if I get wrapped up in the story like I have been with Hungerstone, I get halfway through the next chapter and I'm like, oh wait, I wasn't supposed to continue. So I'll definitely be listening as I take the books off the shelves because that requires no brain work, but I might have to turn the audiobooks off because I'm not sure I could concentrate on a book while trying to make life-changing decisions here. I don't even know how to do this. How do I calculate my intrigue level? I think the newness of a book makes things more intriguing for me. Not always. Honestly, the cover sometimes makes me more intrigued. The hype around it, whether because it's been popular for years or because people have been talking about it much more recently. And also sometimes the genre takes into play. Like there's a lot of general fiction on here. I think it may be my most books on here are general fiction. And it's not that I'm not intrigued by them, but I just know it's going to be a steady read. So I'm not like dying to read them. It's just going to be a comforting thing. So it's not even that like low intrigue is bad. In fact, some of my most intriguing books, because of the hype, because of the excitement level, they might not actually like touch my soul in the way that some of the slower paced books are. Okay, this is something I need to think about later. Let's just get all these books on the floor.
I love the way you keep me moving without
Alright, I just finished filming part 1 of my bookshelf tour for my patrons, which was me showing them every single book that I own that I have read. So all of these books in here. And then this is what the rest of my house looked like. Jesus Christ, we need to get it together. And I have made a few groups. So in these shelves just piled randomly, and like this group right here, these are my most anticipated. I can't believe how many there are. That's very exciting. And then on the table behind you, I have all of my mid books. Sorry about the cars passing. I don't want to close my windows. I have all my mid books going down the couch too, and then we have the least interested. And now I need to prioritize my intrigue level within these groups. So I'm going to start off with my most interesting. This is the part I'm dreading. I think the majority of the books though are mid, because I have like equal anticipation, or like I really kind of forget what the book's about. So I think this is going to be the hardest part. The most anticipated. God damn, that's a scary list. Let's go.
You come back around. I'll keep my feet stuck on the ground. I'm wishing I was rolling, rolling, rolling with you. I'm wishing I was rolling, rolling, rolling with you. Got this funny feeling in my chest and I can't shake it now. Swear it's hard to breathe, I get so anxious without you around. I'm calling just to hear you say hello, 'cause I love the sound. So until you come back around, I'll keep my feet stuck on the ground. I'm wishing I was rolling, rolling, rolling with you.
Oh my gosh, I am pooped. I don't know why I bothered putting blush on today, because my face feels beet red. But I've done it. I've got it from most intrigued to mid intrigued to I could wait a year or 10. And then we got some left over in the cart. Without getting rid of any books though, I somehow cleared 2 shelves full of space in the office and in the cart. I don't know how that happened, but I'm not complaining. I am complaining about how gross I feel right now. I'm like sweaty. I've been rolling around on the ground like a little weasel. I'm gonna gift myself with a nice cold shower and finally wash my ratty hair. Ooh, it's gonna feel good. As for the books, I am so close to being done with both. I only have like a chapter and a half left of Hungerstone. I have several chapters left. Oh wait, maybe just 3 of An Education in Malice, but I think these are just longer chapters and this is a longer paged book. There were times for both books though that I forgot to switch over, so it'd be like 2 chapters I read, scrambled to switch to the other ones, and I gotta be honest, it kept things fun and it kept me from letting the story go on in the background while I was doing like physical stuff, because I kept having to reintroduce myself into what plot was going on. So yeah, after I finish, I'll give you some more in-depth thoughts, because like this one, I have some thoughts. Let me get clean.
You got me looking your direction. You had a flower in your hair.
Alright, I just finished Hungerstone. I still have a little bit to go in An Education in Malice, but also, I was listening to the author's note, which seemed a little different than in this physical copy. But in both, the author mentions Le Fanu's Carmilla as inspiration, but also she says it also takes inspiration from Coleridge's Christabel. And in parentheses, she says the inspiration for Carmilla. What the fuck is that? And now I need to see Carmen Maria Machado's edition. I'm really hoping I didn't put it back in the minds of my bookshelf. Let me see if I see anything. I don't see anything here. Oh my god, I need to Google this. Do I have to read something else? Not for this video, obviously, but the vampire lore just never ends, okay? Fucking love it. It's an unfinished gothic ballad. So a song, a poem, tells the story of a virtuous young woman named Christabel who enters a mysterious stranger named Geraldine in the woods. What the fuck? The first part was reputedly, this is Wikipedia, I don't know what kind of words they're using on here, was written in 1797. Okay, what? I'm so confused. I wonder what this author's saying, that it was inspired for sure by Christabel, because I'm Googling it and it doesn't say either way. It just says that there are similarities, but that is very, very fascinating. It just never ends, does it? Okay, love the ending. Lenore, this character, she is weirdly so frustrating, but also you care so deeply for her because you see all the shit she's gone through. And she's very, very different from this Laura. This Laura, she's almost an airhead. She's just kind of like privileged and happy and sweet. She's like a really nice, funny, playful girl. This girl, she's just had life handed to her and she's become this hard, controlled thing. And I loved seeing her unravel, but man, she was really frustrating at times. Not just in the sense, like I was saying earlier, how she's so proud. She's too proud. She's too stubborn. Maybe that annoyed me a lot because I find that in myself as well. But also it was almost amusing. Every time she'd be like, I know exactly what to do. And she thought she was like this alpha dog and then repeatedly was made a fool. Especially near the end, she starts getting very inspired by Carmilla and she thinks she's a baddie already, but like, she ain't ready yet. So it was really amusing, but also deeply sad. But also, God, the writing, it was good the entire time. It was so wonderful. One of my favorite quotes is near the end. She says, damn control, damn mastery, I want, I lack, I hunger. Also, my throat is just a little scratchy. I promise I'm not crying. I will die like all mortal things. At least let me taste a little life before I go. Love it. Also, if I look a little greasy, I put on my night cream. So it's supposed to look like that, I promise. I think I'm gonna end up giving this 4.5 and I'm so happy. I will definitely be rereading this as well, but it's definitely going down as one of my fave vampire books of the year so far. I think as a gothic story, aside from the vampire shit, like wow, top-notch gothic story. I just love her. Alright, now time to finish this and I'll chat with you when I'm done. It's not frustrating at all. It's still very readable, but like, it's looking like a 3.5. For context, it is just about to be 8 p.m. I'm still drinking caffeine, so it might be a late night, and God, Sunday nights is when I start to wake up. I finally rested the entire weekend and now I'm like ready to party, but then the 5 a.m. alarm is gonna go off. Yikes. Alright, I have finished. It only took another 47 minutes, but oh, see, the thing is, it was never boring. It was never frustrating. And there were times when it was really fun, but this just feels so messily constructed. It feels like this author just had so many ideas. It felt like fan fiction, but like not in a super, super, super fun way. More like in a sloppy way. I like the overall message, and I think it was the same message that was in A Dowry of Blood, and actually it wasn't like the only message in here, I just want to say. Again, I felt like this was just going in so many directions, but definitely in the second half, it felt like the theme of trying to escape something super controlling. And I love exploring that all of the time. It was one of my favorite things reading about in this book. I think the one thing that's really, really bugging me is it just felt like scene stitched to scene. There was no real building of the setting and the atmosphere. We never saw Laura or Carmilla in any other classes but this De La Fontaine lady. And there's no way Laura, a freshman, only has a poetry class. She actually went over her schedule at the very beginning. She had church history, typing, lunch, astronomy. Never saw any of that. And I love an orgy as much as the next person, probably even more than the next person. But what the fuck was that? It actually made the book so much better, so I'm glad it was in there, but it came out of nowhere and we focused so much time on that. And it just really felt like the author wanted to write a little smutty novella. So like, just write a smutty novella? I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to give this like a 2.75, but I can recognize it as entertaining. I love some lesbian shit, and I'm trying to think of a third thing, but right now I'm feeling a little petulant. I just don't know why also she chose to have this be a Carmilla retelling, like use the same names, because these are completely different characters. I think I forgot to say in this version of the vlog, but this is set in the late 60s. The only time we ever noticed that was when implying that lesbianism was not an approved kind of thing. Also the fact that there were no cell phones, and some of the outfits that they described. Oh, I love that. I love hearing about outfits, especially in a period piece. But like, why did she choose to make this Carmilla related? Why didn't she just have a vampire story? I don't know. And why did she choose this Carmilla to be the Carmilla? Because there definitely were a couple characters in here that were more Carmilla. I'm not even making sense at this point. I'm gonna give it a 3. Okay, it was good, but I see clear fault lines in the construction of it, and it just wasn't my favorite. Personal preference. I know so many of you were telling me during Summerween, so I know there are fans of this book. I hope I didn't piss you off. I'm sorry. Who knows? Maybe this will be a grower, and maybe this one will be too. Maybe it'll end up at 5 stars. Who really the fuck knows? Anyway, I'm glad I wasn't ever bored or frustrated, truly, with either of these things, and I'm so glad I read them together. I think that was so much fun, and honestly, maybe it made me like this book more because I saw saw the flaws in this. And I think it kept me from being frustrated because I got to go back and forth and it felt like new and exciting. I love reading things at the same time, especially like being able to compare and contrast. Plus I love retellings. This was just a phenomenal time. And you know I love the vampire shit. A perfectly good use of my weekend. I'm feeling so much better today than I was yesterday and this entire past week. And while I'd love to say it's because I was super productive in this vlog, which honestly I kind of was, I think it's so funny that I didn't even realize I was PMSing because I was PMSing a week earlier than I thought I was going to. So that's actually kind of a relief. I like it when things make sense to me because then I can deal with it and accept it, as opposed to like, why am I feeling this way? You know what I mean? So we had a surprise accomplishment in this vlog, figuring out my weird hormones. Sorry, I can't shut up about them in all my videos, but they rule my life. And yes, I have this all organized, which is so funny because it really doesn't look that different, but when I tell you, it feels so different. Sorry, I don't think I'm ready to shut up tonight. For anyone who wants to organize their books by interest level, it actually was way easier than I thought it was going to be. What I ended up doing was just sitting down and not really thinking too much about it, just separating things into 3 different categories. So we had most interested in, least interested in, and then whatever was in the middle was in the middle. And then within that, I separated into 3. Most interested, least, and middle. And then I ended up putting them on the shelf in that tiny little section. I don't even know if you're understanding what I'm saying right now. Alphabetically. So like these shelves right here, that was from my first pile of most interested in, and within that, the most of the most interested in, and then alphabetized. So it's funny because if you were to look at my shelf, it looks like the book I'm most intrigued about of all of my unread books is All Roads Lead Here, which obviously I'm very excited to read, but I would not say it's above like Martyr, but it starts with A, so it's going at the top. I think the reason I did that was because I just could not rank any higher or more minutely than I already had. Plus, I think this will be easier to maintain over time because like I said, my interest level really changes, but it's not going to change so much that Martyr is ever gonna go over here, you know what I mean? It might fluctuate between the shelves of my interest levels on high, but it's never gonna go to like a medium interest level. Does that make sense? I swear, I like to overcomplicate things. Also, by the way, if you are interested in seeing every single one of my own books, including books that I've read, which are the ones in the back, and every single book here, that video will be up on my Patreon at this point, so check it out if you want. If not, that's okay, you'll see it in the background. Okay, good weekend, good weekend. I felt like I showed more than I told in this vlog. My vibes were a little off the first couple of days, but we made it there in the end, and I'm glad I didn't give up on another vlog. I think we got through this hump. Hangover, done. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you've read either of these. If you have differing opinions, I love to hear those, so put them in the comments. And let me know how you organize your books or how often you change it up. I love to change things up. I like to move my furniture around and reorganize my books, even though it's a headache every single time. It took me all day to do it. I should probably start getting ready for bed. I'll see you later. Goodbye.